It's the Panthers. What do you expect? The Atlanta Falcons have defeated the Carolina Panthers, thus making this their third division rival game to have come out victorious in a row. Final score of the game was 38-20, and like I said, it's the Panthers. Like, had we lost this game, I legitimately don't know what I would have said or what I would have thought, because that really would have been embarrassing. But yeah, let's go over stats real briefly. First, we got Kirk Cousins. He threw 19 for 30 with a completion rate of 63%. He threw for 225 yards and threw one touchdown. Tyler Allgeier, he had 18 carries, 105 yards, and one touchdown. Bijan Robinson, he had 15 carries, 95 yards, and two touchdowns. And Drake London, he had 6 receptions, 74 yards, and one touchdown. We also had Kyle Pitts, who had 3 receptions and 70 yards. Darnell Mooney, he also had 3 receptions, 38. And Ray-Ray McCloud, he also had 3 receptions and 30 yards. So, again, offensively, I don't think anyone's really arguing about this offense anymore. It's very solid. However, let's go ahead and briefly go over defense. AJ Terrell, he had 2 tackles, 1 assist, and got that 1 interception. Clark Phillips, he had 2 tackles, 1 assist, and also got the other reception. Nobody got any sacks or even came close to getting a sack in this game, which is disappointing. Mike Hughes, he had 6 tackles, 1 assist. Nate Landman, he had 4 tackles, 4 assists. D. Alfred, he had 4 tackles, 1 assist. And Jesse Bates, 4 tackles, 2 assists. So, 6 games in, we have a good idea of what our team looks like, what everybody else's teams look like. And I think it's pretty hard to argue that the Falcons have a really good offense. They have a really good offense. However, our point of concern and a point of contention with the Falcons is with the defense. And one of the main reasons for that is our pass rush. Like I said, no sacks this entire game. And it's not like the Panthers' O-line was necessarily that bad. Hi, yes, editing here. What I meant to say was Panthers' O-line was not necessarily that good. I don't know why I keep misspeaking every point I'm trying to make. It's probably because when I was recording this video, it was after I had just woken up and I barely got any sleep. But yeah, I'm going to try to make these points better in future videos. But yeah, thanks. It was just that we just do not have good pass rushing. We had Matt Judon at the start of the year to come in and hopefully bring some pressure, but he is not really doing that, which is disappointing. But regardless, I will still say this was a good game. Now, full disclosure, I did not watch this game in its entirety, as I did not watch it live. It was not on in my area, and I do not have Sunday ticket. I am just merely going off of highlights here. So this video is not really going to be that long. It's going to be just kind of a short overview. I will say about our rushing. Bijan, this seems to be a game in which he's just kind of, everything with him just kind of seemed to click. For the most part, it seems like each game since the Saints game, he's just been getting a little bit better. And I do like the strategy of having Tyler Allgeier and Bijan Robinson both like exchanging playing time throughout the game. It not only keeps the rushing fresh because you're allowing these guys to get breaks and like regain their stamina and then come back into the game and then do their thing, but it also allows for times for Kirk Cousins to be able to hand the ball off while also leaving time open for players to get open for him to get receiving yards in. And you'll see with these stats here about with Darnell Mooney, Kyle Pitts, Ray, they're not necessarily getting the ball often, but when they do, it's always for effective play. So I think our offense has really clicked. I think we have a really nice thing going, and I appreciate the fact that Zach Robinson appears to have corrected his mistakes. Like, he's having more dynamic play calling. And, Raheem Morris, he is also front and center on this. However, I will say about Raheem Morris, a lot of people said during offseason that Raheem Morris is more of a defensive coach. And that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me when looking at this defense. I've mentioned pass rushing before. We are 32nd in pass rushing. Literally the worst pass rushing team in the league. Now, when it comes to our other things, such as blocking and all that, we're mediocre in that. I'm not going to make it out to be we're terrible in that, too. Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons and AJ, they are good players. But I really think our defense is not that elite. If we're going against weak offenses, like the Panthers offense, that's not necessarily going to be the biggest issue in the world. But when we're going to be if we're going to be facing off against teams that have more elite offenses, like in a few weeks, we're going to have to face the Vikings, who they've been doing really well. And on top of that, next week, we're going to have to face the Seahawks, which they seem to be kind of having a weird thing where they won the first 3 games, but they've also lost the next 3. It's right there. So it's a little interesting seeing what Seahawks are really like, but their offense is not too shabby, so that's is going to be a point of concern. And also we're going to have to go against the Buccaneers again, which who's to say their defense can't put up good numbers. Their game against the Saints, that was monstrous. They had that one quarter in which they allowed Saints to score 27, but then afterwards the Saints just didn't score anything again. Now that's a game I also didn't watch in its entirety, but I saw the aftermath of it and I found it really funny that the Saints went beast mode during the second quarter and then just never showed up for the rest of the game. So yeah. But outside of those few teams, there's a lot of other teams that is a little hard to read at the moment because you can't really tell whether these teams are just getting off to an early good start or if they are legitimate contenders. Near the tail end of this schedule, we're gonna have to face the Commanders, and they're having a really explosive year thus far with Jay and Daniel. So it's really hard to predict what's gonna happen. But yeah. Like I said, I don't really have too much to say about this game with the Panthers. We beat them. And I will also say I do appreciate the fact that this is the first game in which we were able to win against a team with more than double-digit points. Because thus far, so far, all of our games have been close games. Whether they've been win or loss, the point difference was always kind of single-digit. But with this one, we beat them with 18 points ahead, which I really like. But like I said, it's Carolina. The bar with Carolina is not necessarily that high. It's more like it's down here. And I think it's safe to say even Panthers fans are accepting that. They're just in a tough spot right now. That's all it is. So yeah. So that's about it. This is probably my shortest video. Didn't really have much else to add. Next game should be a lot more interesting. I should hopefully be able to watch it. Regional broadcast is kind of weird. A lot of times they'll play Falcons games, but sometimes it won't. I think because Cowboys is always treated as an American game of the week. It was played over the Falcons game, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, that's about it. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all next week.